What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. I'm Rook,
And I'm Archon.
and we are here to talk to you about everything nerdy. Today's episodes will be about another deep dive in the thought experiment variety, and it's how the view of gaming has changed throughout the decades and generations. When I'm talking about this, I'm talking about what did your parents think about gaming when you're growing up versus what the general populace thinks about gaming now. For me and Archon, we're both middle-aged, and so our parents had a completely different thought process on what gaming is to what most parents think about now. But
Well, I mean, even as much as like our own personal experiences of, I mean, like my view of gaming has changed a ton over the years. And
oh yeah,
I actually had a pretty good
become
conversation with a few friends yesterday morning about this very topic. So,
oh yeah, it's a good topic too. You don't realize just how much has changed until you sit down and start talking about it.
right.
So let's do our normal. Everybody wants to know how we do. So how's your week been, man?
It's been pretty good. I bought Borderlands as soon as it came out. I played it. It actually came out a little early, which is cool. I played it a little bit the day it came out, but then I shelved it for a little while because I've been pretty big into PoE and I wanted to keep going with what I was doing on there. And then Rook came like Friday and was like, "Hey, I'm going to buy Borderlands, so we should play this weekend." And I'm like, "Okay." So me and Rook did some playing of that this weekend, and we'll talk about that a little bit because we've had a pretty fun experience other than Rook's computer being fun.
So I'm having issues that it seems a lot of people are having with the game.
Dude, I don't think it has anything to do with the game. I honestly think it either has to do with your connection or something along those lines because you were having issues when we played Dune together. You were having issues with like every game we've played together recently, you've had issues, the same issues with. So
the network dropping out of, let me rephrase that. The network error I keep getting, yes, that's probably my network, but the game just crashing out of nowhere. I think there's a lot of the reviews I've read have been negative reviews about the stability issues of the game and the performance issues of the game.
I don't know. I have not had a single crash of the game. The only issue I've had since I started playing was the one that Rook and I had an issue where we were playing last night for several hours, having fun, doing lots of things. And then when we logged in to play this morning, several of those hours just weren't there. Like we had gotten to level 10. Well, I was almost level 10 and he was almost level 11. And when we logged in today, I was level 5 and he was level 7. And we were way behind the progress that we had made. And we were like,
Yeah, and I also noticed that when we went to go spam the first boss, he was no longer dropping anything good like he was last night.
He dropped you a legendary. And last night, he dropped me a couple good things. Just it took a lot of times before he did. So
I'm talking about in general. He was dropping a lot of high value stuff last night almost every single time you fought him. Tonight, it was like maybe once every 2 times he dropped something over 1,300.
I think that was RNG though, because I mean, honestly, like there wasn't a patch or anything, so there's nothing that would have caused that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were just not having the best of luck. But
this is also the first time it dropped a legendary for me, but not for you.
Yeah, that was different. I mean, every other time, whenever he got one, I would get one, or vice versa. But like today, he dropped one for Rook and not for me. A little odd. But then I got one later, and you had one on the vending machine later, and I didn't.
So
I think it's just random. We were just kind of getting some type of weird luck going on or something last night, or maybe that's part of the reason why it crashed on us and we lost all that progress last night. It was because something goofy was going on.
Probably. That does suck if that was the case, because I was enjoying getting all the goodies.
I know.
I had a shield that would launch missiles at people when I kill somebody.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But I found a shield today that has like 1,400 life on it, which is insane. I think it's
Mhm.
so nice. I was
Especially that
finding,
early.
yeah, I was finding all shields that have like 300, 400, and then I found one that had 1,400. I was like, oh, hello. It does have a negative on it though. Like I didn't tell you about that, but it reduces my maximum life by 20%,
Oof.
but it gives me 1,400 shields, so I don't ever get to the point where my health is in trouble. I
Most of
have,
my I wish I could say that about me.
well, if you had 1,400 shield, you wouldn't either.
Well, whenever I engage my ability, they stay up until it runs out the normal bar, and then I chose the option to where it stays on even longer, but it starts draining my health.
Oh,
Yeah, so I wouldn't want that shield because that extra 20% keeps me alive or dead when I realize it's doing
yikes.
that.
No wonder you're having to get res so often
Mhm.
or killing monsters to res yourself. Yeah, we had
But
we had a pretty fun weekend playing that game. I mean, despite the issues and getting frustrated about getting dropped all the time, I mean, if we can figure out what's causing you to get booted and fix it, then we'll, we'll have a
I
blast.
I do need to look into my settings on my PC because I am noticing a common occurrence between Doom, uh, PoE, and Borderlands 4. And that common occurrence is when I load into the game, half the time I have to wait extra time for the textures to all load in. And
Oh, I do
that is,
that's me every time.
I don't know if it's Unreal Engine 5 for Dune and Borderlands 4 or what, because I don't have that issue on some of the older games,
Well,
only on the newer ones.
I was having this issue that I could not fix. Now, bear in mind my computer is about 5 or 6 years old, and I've never once had to reformat it or anything like that, so it's bogged down pretty hard. But I was having this issue where any game I played, I remember talking to you about Dune doing this as well. It would not launch the launcher, so I couldn't get into the game. And I'd have to do
Yeah,
like a backdoor workaround where I went into the file, avoided the launcher, and launched the game through the file, the exe file in there directly into the game as the administrator. That was the only way I could get into the game. And then I was trying to play another game this weekend called Fellowship that was doing like a little beta thing. And it
hmm
also has a launcher, but I was having the same issue. But the backdoor workaround thing wasn't working for that game. Like, and I realized that any game through Steam that has a launcher, I could not play.
that
It
is
would not
really
let me
weird.
in. And I was having all kinds of issues, and I tried a bunch of things to fix it, and it just ended up screwing everything up even more. And so I just bit the bullet, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to reformat my computer. So I went in, I did the hard reformat where I deleted all the files, cleaned the
Yeah.
whole drive, scrubbed the drive, started over fresh copy of Windows, and started it from fresh. And my computer's running like a brand new computer now.
See, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my computer because I shouldn't be having the problems I'm having based on my specs. I have a brand new motherboard. I have a Ryzen 9 9950X processor, and I'm also running I want to get you the exact right graphics card, the GTX GeForce RTX 5060 Ti, and it's having those problems. I shouldn't be having those problems though.
Have you updated your graphics driver recently? Because there was just an update like a week ago.
I don't think I updated it within the last week.
I know I had to upgrade my graphics drivers.
That might be my problem is I might have to upgrade, but it's
Could have
still that
something to do with
same
it.
issue. I'll look into it more, do a little bit more research, see if I can
I
figure it
think
out.
yours might be partially network issues, though. Are you
I,
hardware or are you
I'm hardwired
Wi-Fi?
in. I'm
Hmm.
hardwired in to the router, which is fiber optic wired in to the network.
Hmm.
So I need to contact AT&T and see if they put a Uh, if they slowed it down themselves or something.
Yeah, if they're like throttling you.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, it could very well be. I don't know, but other than that, this week, while I was at work, I finished the first book in the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. My stepson's been trying to get me to listen to this series for a while, and I finally, because of the nature of my job, I have more time and I can focus on it a little bit more while I'm driving. I was like, all right, I'll give it another shot because the book jumps around a lot. And back when I was working at FedEx, like I made so many stops and I was getting in and out of the truck so much it was really hard to follow the jumps. But with this job, I mean, I only get out of my truck like 3 or 4 times a day and I'm driving for like 6 hours, so it's like long stretches, so I have more time to focus. And so finished the first book. It's pretty dang good. Like I've never had a book before where when I got near the end, I was like sitting there yelling at my speaker, like telling them, go do this. Like, what are you doing? And like, I was getting like so into it that I was like literally yelling at my radio. It was pretty cool. So I started the second book and like immediately and like 5 or 6 chapters in, but these books, man, every single one gets increasingly longer than the last one. And the second book is like 48 hours. The last book in the series is like 68 hours long.
That's really long novel.
It's so long. The Bible is only like 80 hours. Like the entire Bible, which is like how many books in one? It like the entire Bible is only like 80 hours cover to cover, and this book is almost as long. The last book in the series. The whole 5-book series is like reading the Bible 5 times, basically, or 4, like probably closer to 4 times. So long, but it's good. So I guess I'll be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Oh yeah, I've been entertained. It's good. It's getting pretty wild. But yeah, that's been my week. How about you?
My week has been a lot of stress. The contracting company that is actually monitoring the cameras at my house in California that's getting repaired constantly is in the past couple of days been sending a message saying, "Yep, we got another one. Oh, we got another one." Of people just coming up to my house randomly to look inside the windows and look in the backyard. Luckily, he put a noise alarm on it.
See what they can steal.
Yeah. I gotta wonder if my neighbors around the house are starting to get frustrated because that is a very loud alarm.
Yeah, that would be annoying. You know what you need to do is you need to go there, just fly out there, set the house up like the kid from Home Alone did, where whenever somebody comes by, it looks like there's a party going on with little trains making cutouts go around in circles and like the whole nine. Like make it look like you're having a whole party every day. And then people won't mess around.
Yeah, but I still have to get it to where it's clean enough for people to go inside, look at it, and either want to buy it or rent it.
Dude, if they walked in that house and they saw that, they would want to buy it immediately. They'd be like, this is the coolest house I've ever seen. All the nostalgia would come back. Like, Home Alone.
We want to buy the house as is. $450. All right, deal.
Yeah, you can leave. You got to leave all the fun stuff.
Yeah, but that's been a big stress of mine lately. Been dealing with the VA. As many of y'all know, I'm a vet, so I've been dealing with the VA on getting certain things taken care of. That's easy-ish. Ish. But also gaming. I've been doing a little bit of everything. Mostly No Man's Sky when I've been on my computer. But like I said, me and Archon, I've been playing Borderlands together, and it's been fun. But like I said, if you go onto Metacritic, it has a general user score of 4.2 out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yep.
Are you sure that's out of 10 and not out of 5?
No, it's out of 10 because you can rate it up to a 9 or a 10.
Really? Huh,
Yep.
that's weird.
It has 35% positive reviews and 57% negative and 8% mixed.
I don't trust
All
reviews anymore.
even the in the top reviews, even the one that was rated a 9. Now, granted, Borderlands ain't for everybody. So if you're looking for a game that's realistic in graphics and stuff, Borderlands ain't for you.
No, it's
So
got a definite its own graphic style, that's for sure.
yeah. This one says very good Borderlands, fun missions with a lot of laughter, which me and Archon find ourselves laughing at
Yeah,
the
we've been cracking up.
one-liners. Uh, Very beautiful and long content. The only thing that is frustrating is the stability of the performance on his PlayStation. And also, unstable 60 frames per second. But he likes it. But, and I was going through all these reviews on Metacritics, and that's the only issue people are having is performance. And if you're making a game if you're making a game and the current consoles are struggling to be stable on it, you need to go revisit it and see if you can fix it.
Yeah,
Which
there's got to be something
yeah, so
that's causing it that's easily fixed, easily
yeah.
patched.
Well, they're running Unreal 5, and Unreal 5 lately hasn't been a very stable platform from my understanding.
Hmm.
But that is neither here nor there. I don't know.
So
I don't.
far out of all of we're not that far into the game. We've done like the first like 2 missions and like some of the side missions and farmed the
Mhm.
first boss a lot. But so far my favorite one-liner that I've come across was the one where he's like, it's a left hand and a left foot. So he must be all right.
Yeah,
Huh.
the game is actually it's definitely Borderlands.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It is not Tiny Tina's Adventures, but it is Borderlands.
19 Wonderland is a game in itself, and that game is amazing. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I can't
Mhm.
give a full review or anything on it yet because I'm not very far into it. I'm only a couple hours in. Uh, but as we play it more over the weeks, I'll give you a little bit more. But I'm liking it so far. It's very Borderlands. It's very Destiny like. So if you're a fan of like Destiny 2, it's similar. Um, I like that you can play co-op. Like we've been having a blast with it.
Mhm. It's one of the
It's fun.
it's it's become one of the best co-op games out there because it's designed for up to 4 people.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the game is just all those one-liners. I love the game. I'm giving y'all a review of the issues I'm having just so y'all are aware that this is a very common issue with the performance and stability of the game. So
Mhm.
if you're having the issues when you try playing it, it might not be your setup. If you're
Right.
getting booted from the network, that is probably your network.
Yeah.
But if the game's crashing on you randomly, it's probably not your setup because even top end PCs are struggling with it at times.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's like semi-random because I haven't had a single performance issue.
But you
The
have
only
your
issue I've
graphics
had
setting
was
too.
I'm pretty sure it defaults at max with my all my stuff. But I'm only running a 3060 Ti. I don't have a 5060, so like
Mhm.
my card's even more dated than yours. But I'm running like 60. I think I have 60 gigs RAM. My computer runs it. I also just flushed my whole PC and it's running like only Borderlands. Like I don't have all the other junk on my computer from the last 6 years anymore. So
Yeah, I do
I don't
need to
know.
go through and clean mine up. The where I have it located on my system, I think I have it on my solid state that has Starfield on it. I think. I don't remember.
Well, if you're not running it on a solid state, then that's definitely your problem.
Well, of course I will be running it on a solid state. It picked up
Okay.
my D drive, not my E drive though. That might be my Yeah, it's running off my D drive because it's Steam. That's right.
Hmm.
But the loading and the access to the files on the computer is not the issue. It's just running the game and then it freezing and crashing is the issue. But the game's still fun. If you like Borderlands, I recommend trying it out. If you don't like Borderlands, I recommend trying it out.
I know some people who don't care for him, but I love Claptrap. I think he's hilarious. Everything he's said so far this entire game has had me just rolling. He's so funny.
I will be honest, they've made Claptrap better on his lines in this game.
Yeah, definitely. He's not quite as annoying. Like in I know like Borderlands 2, I loved him, but he was kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would definitely get annoying, but I don't know.
Hey, in this one you get to shock him.
Yeah. And he loves it. I could go all day.
But that's pretty much been my week. I'm hoping next week it keeps going. So ready to get, you got any news articles you'd like to cover before we hit our main topic?
I do. So a little thing happened the other day that not many people know about. I'm being completely sarcastic. Everybody knows about this. Nintendo Direct happened, and they made a lot of announcements.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to cover that. I'll do it fairly quick, but there are some pretty big announcements that were made. Because it's Mario's 40th anniversary, there were a lot of Mario announcements. The number one, the biggest thing, at least for me, is they announced the sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's going to be based off of the name of the movie is the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be based off the Mario Galaxy movies, which means they're obviously going to bring what's her name into it. Rosalina? Is that the princess that's in Galaxy? Rosalina?
I have no idea. I've never played Galaxies.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Those are two of the best Mario games, man.
In the group, you're the Mario fan.
Oh, dude.
I'm the Pokemon fan.
They also, in following suit, they also announced that they're going to be doing a Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 HD upgrade remake for the Switch and the Switch 2.
There is one issue with that.
That they're already HD?
Yeah, but they're releasing it for $70.
Probably, but it's 2 games. And it's 2 very good games.
It's not $70 worthy.
The original games were $60 a piece, so they're giving you $120 worth of games for $70.
Not worthy. It should be $50.
And they're upgraded graphics. Slightly. Slightly. They also announced a new Mario Tennis game because, everybody loves Mario Tennis. I don't think I've ever played Mario Tennis. But
I played it on the Wii.
I like Wii Tennis. Like the tennis game on Wii, so I mean I'm sure it's fine.
I played Mario Tennis on the Game Boy.
They also announced a Super Mario Bros. Wonder launch for the Switch 2 that's going to have some like bonus features and extra stuff on it, which I'm not surprised. I was actually kind of shocked that game came out on the Switch to begin with and they didn't just wait and hold it to be a Switch 2 title, because every Mario or every Nintendo system always comes out with a new Mario title and that one didn't, which was kind of weird.
True.
There's a new Fire Emblem game, Fortune's Weave. Metroid Prime 4 finally got, some more traction, and apparently Samus gets a motorcycle in this one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know a couple other characters that have motorcycles.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Borderlands?
Yep.
Pokemon Pokopia, the game that follows Ditto, apparently, and it's a lot like, they said it's a lot like Dragon Quest Builders and Stardew Valley. But it's Pokemon related.
I want them to release another Pokemon style game like Pokemon Arceus.
Okay, and the next one on the list is Pokemon Legends ZA, which is exactly what you're talking about. That actually comes out in October, so next month that game comes out. But oddly enough, they announced the first DLC for the game before the game's actually even announced. I mean, I guess Starfield did the same thing. We knew about Shattered Space before, before the game even came out.
Mm-hmm.
They also announced a new Hyrule Warriors game called Age of Imprisonment, which is like a slash 'em up Link game, Zelda
Nice.
themed game. That'll be fun. And this is the one. This game actually might make me want to buy a Switch 2 at some point. They announced a game. Well, it's been announced, but they gave more gameplay on it. It's called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and this game looks so fun. And it's like probably the cutest game I've ever seen.
Even better than what's that other Yoshi game?
The Epic Yarn one, or no, that's
Yeah.
Kirby.
Yoshi's Island, I think.
Well, I think this is going to be like almost like a sequel to Yoshi's Island type of thing. It's a
Okay.
whole game starring Yoshi, which I don't know. They
Dude,
announced.
Speaking of Yoshi, I saw a little cartoon, and it was the guy and the girl while they were out on the Raptors on Jurassic Park. But the guy says, "Raptors and T-Rexes are the least of our problems. This one can swallow you whole." And then when it zoomed out, it's Yoshi.
I'm pretty sure a T-Rex could swallow you whole as well, or bite you in half. This one, I'm sorry, Nintendo, but this is a gimmick I'm not getting behind because I guarantee you there's exactly maybe one person in the world that cares. They're adding Virtual Boy games to the online lineup.
I never played a single Virtual Boy game that I thought was good.
I used to have a Virtual Boy, and there was like a tennis game on there that I played, but the Virtual Boy was notorious for those games giving people migraines. So I don't know if I want that in my lineup. Like, and the graphics on those games are so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Who wanted that?
The
Who
red
said,
and
you know
black
what?
is what bothered me.
And like, why wasn't, if they were going to do this, why didn't they do this from the start? Because every single Virtual Boy game probably takes up like one RAM, like one kilobyte of RAM, I should say.
So the only downside to this is all of the things that they're doing, or they're releasing, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, N64, all that are individual upgrades to your Nintendo account. So you have to pay extra for each one.
Right, exactly. That one might come with the base that's like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want like the Sega or the Nintendo 64 or any of that, you got to pay extra.
Mm-hmm.
They also announced a Resident Evil Requiem for Switch too. That actually looks kind of decent. There's been a few other games. There was a few other games that are like more minor games, like a Dynasty Warriors game. They announced Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally coming to the Switch too.
Finally.
In January. Yeah. And a DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza. So there was quite a bit to it. They did announce quite a bit of things. Most of it was the Mario stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hyped for the movie because I love the first one. My son loves the first one. I've seen it so many times.
That's the one with Chris Pratt voicing the character, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that one.
They're all coming back. Yeah, they're all coming back. So
very nice.
It's just a sequel, except now it's Galaxy. They're going to space.
So I love Nintendo and what they are attempting to do. I do not like them in the lawsuit world because they opened up a can of worms by filing a patent the way they filed it. So we'll see how it affects a lot of core mechanics on other games. But I am interested in the Pokemon game. I am interested in the Mario movie. Those are the two things I'm definitely looking forward to because I
Oh
love
yeah, me too.
Pokemon. I love
And
my
Mario
my
Tennis, of
my
course.
shiny Cubone.
I mean Mario Tennis, man. And never been a huge fan of the Metroid Prime games, but this one does look kind of decent. And the
That's true.
Pokemon Stardew Valley game looks good too. Both Pokemon games look good. I loved Arceus, so if this Pokemon Legends is anything like Arceus was, then I'm gonna love it.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's by far my favorite Pokemon game out of all of them.
Nice. Anyhow, is that all we got for the Nintendo Direct?
That's all.
All right. So, if you're into Nintendo, that should have made you really happy. All right, let's get into the main topic. We have about a bit of conversation we can have with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, how has the view of gaming and the gaming culture in general changed throughout the years? And I'm not just talking about video games. We'll start with the video games because that was what was popular. And as we got older, we saw tabletop games become more prominent and more accessible and more mainstream.
Card games, tabletop.
Dude, I grew up. I started playing. What did I start playing? I started playing certain games when they initially released Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. So seeing those as big as they are now, especially Pokemon, is just outright amazing.
Well, I could tell you a huge change in gaming culture right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you started out playing Pokemon. Nobody plays Pokemon anymore. They just buy the cards because they want to make money because the cards are worth money. I have not once ever gone into a card store and seen people sitting there playing Pokemon.
During the week, I've gone into gaming stores and seen kids playing Pokemon. That's still widely played.
Actually playing it.
Yes.
I've never seen anybody playing it. I just see people fighting each other and like murdering each other to buy whole carts of the cards so that they could scalp them because they're worth ridiculous amounts of money for no reason at all.
Yeah, but I've seen people playing, and there are some adults, but it's mostly kids that play the Pokemon game because it's a simple game to get into when it comes to trading card games. Magic, which I'm finally getting back into, is a beast within itself.
Yeah, Magic is very highly played, but it's also the same thing. Like they did the pre-release the other day for the Spider-Man sets.
Mm-hmm.
I went in because I wanted to get a couple packs. You should have seen how crazy it was. They had like the store I went to had like a bunch of different ones. All of them had people's names on them already. They were all like pre-sold. There was like, it's ridiculous. Like the Final Fantasy sets, I couldn't find them anywhere. It was so hard to find them. And when you did, they were like 3 times the price they should have been.
There are some issues with how much people are scalping the cards for. There are some basic cards or common, uncommon cards that are worth $10, but that's because people want them to use in their decks.
Right.
But there are cards that are ridiculously priced for no reason.
Well,
but
the main reason for it is Magic went to this whole like collector booster packs now, and they started releasing in like a lot of their sets. They'll release like a serialized card that there's only 70 of in the world, and then suddenly that card becomes super valuable. And then if there's a super valuable card in the set, then the set's worth a ton, no matter what. Those cards are going to be worth a ton because you have a chance to pull a $70,000 card. It's like,
or in the case of Final Fantasy, $200,000 card.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah.
All right, so we'll focus on first video games because you and I are close to the same age. Shrinking it down to when we were kids, what did your parents think of the game when you played video games? Or did they let you play video games?
My parents always thought video gaming was a waste of time. You're just wasting your time because they don't. understand. Although, like I did mention before that there was one game I had on Nintendo, this game called Hogan's Alley that me and my dad used to play together, where we'd shoot the can in the
Mhm.
air, and that was the one video game my dad would play with me. But other than that, like they always thought that they didn't understand that the games had stories. They didn't understand that like all the mechanics and stuff behind it, and that like the things you could actually learn from video games. They just looked at it as you were wasting time in your room playing a video game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what my family, my mostly my dad, because my mom would play games with us occasionally, but my dad, he hated it when we'd spend our time playing video games in the bedroom or before school while I'm waiting for my brother and sister to get ready so we could go catch the bus. It was they just didn't like us playing video games that much. But back then, I also wanted to go outside,
Right,
play.
same, me too. But
Mhm.
like that hasn't really changed a ton though, because my wife still says the same things my dad used to say. You can spend 1 hour playing anything other than that is a waste of time. And it's like, oh, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot that has changed throughout the years, especially with video games. Like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of personal interaction that's gone now. Um, one of my favorite things and some of my favorite memories ever are sitting there playing video games with like my brother or my sisters or my friends or something, all right next to each other with our controllers all plugged into like the multi taps and stuff. And
Oh,
we'd
yeah.
be sitting there just gaming together and just having a blast playing some of these games. Where nowadays it's like, if I want to play a game with my stepson, there's a few couch co-op games you can play, but for the most part, it's like I have to have a copy of the game. You have to have a copy of the game. We each have to have our own PlayStations so that we can play this game together, or our own
Mhm.
computers so that we can play this game together online in separate rooms. Like,
Yeah, there are some things like that that I don't agree with. Growing up playing video games, it was let's put it this way. Growing up, they used to think video games caused violence, and violence in video games was highly frowned upon.
mhm,
We discussed this before early in the show in our show,
mhm.
uh, that the what is it? The ERSB ESRB was created because Congress didn't like the fact of the violence in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat changed the world
It did,
because it was like one of the first games that had blood in it,
mhm, and then
but you could turn it off.
that was where you ran into the issue of parents saying too much time with video games is bad and all of this. It was a big culture against video games. Around the same time, tabletop gaming started coming up, with, Gary Gygax and D&D. That was seen as devil worshiping and all that other stuff growing up. And nowadays, that's changed. But throughout the years, you see that stuff growing. But what you started seeing was scientific tests of video games coming out and showing that, hey, this does affect your kid, but in a positive way.
Right.
They started verifying that kids' quick responses to situations or their hand-eye coordination and their
That's what I
critical
was just gonna
thinking.
mention. I was just gonna mention that, like, you compare like a kid who's an avid video gamer, especially like we'll take a modern game for instance now, like Elden Ring or a Souls type game,
Mhm.
and you compare his hand-eye coordination to somebody who doesn't play video games at all, the gamer wins hands down. Like, you just it's you learn it. I mean, it's a learned skill. Like your hand-eye coordination, your muscle memory, your retention, your you know, for me, the biggest thing for me when I played EverQuest when I was a young kid, I went from being able to type like 30 words a minute to being able to type over 120 words a minute
Mhm.
because of EverQuest. Because you had to type fast or you died. Like, you
Yeah.
just learned to type really fast, and you spent so much time chatting and interacting with people that you learned all these skills that parents didn't see it.
Yeah.
All they saw was that you were wasting time in your room,
Yeah.
and they didn't see all the skills you were learning.
And if you take a kid who's played video games and actually played the difficult ones with the hard puzzles and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you put somebody, an average adult in there, that kid's going to be able to, and it's a new game, neither of them has touched it before. That kid's going to figure out those puzzles a lot faster than the adult will, just because the kid's used to figuring out
Yeah.
solutions to complex problems. And because a lot of video games, the solution in a lot of the big budget games isn't just a quick, oh, I just got to hit this and that opens. It's, I got to do this, which leads to that, which will go to over here, and or just understanding your environment in the game.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, have you ever played any of the Myst series?
I played once on the first one. Yeah.
Those type of games, like those games in particular, the entire game, or like there's a series called Seventh Guest where you're just locked in this hotel. Like
Hmm.
those type of games, heck, even back to NES, the game Maniac Mansion.
Oh
The
yeah,
whole entire game was you trying to solve. You find this item to do this, to do this, to do this, to unlock this door, to get this, to try and escape this mansion, and it's all problem solving skills, and those skills translate well.
yeah, they do. And you look at parents nowadays compared to when we were growing up. So our generation grew up as adults, and as we started having kids, we're like, yeah, go ahead, play the game, but also spend some time outside. We actually, our generation started pushing kids to actually want to play video games and be themselves and whatnot. So it's cool to actually see how it went from, ew, you're spending too much time inside playing this brain rotting thing, go
Right.
outside. And then now we're actually acknowledging with our generation and newer generations that this ain't brain rotting. It's actually good for your mental
Right.
self.
Like, watching my 4-year-old
Hmm.
play video games is a trip for me, man. Because, like, I love watching him figure out these games. Like, I've talked, I don't know how many times on this show about him playing Astrobot and how he can beat that whole game.
Yeah.
The game's rated for kids 10 and older, but my 4-year-old can beat that whole game. And he started preschool this year doing phenomenal because he's
Yeah.
good at problem solving skills. He's good at remembering things. He's good at, putting two and two together. He's got really good hand-eye coordination. Like, these are all things that he learned just from, watching his brother and then playing the game himself. And, like, I my wife doesn't like it when they play video games for a long time. I honestly don't care because I know the benefits of it because I grew up with it and I understand the things that they're going to learn. Now, we do have one of our kids, actually, if he stares at screens for too long, he starts getting migraines.
Hmm.
And him, we do have to limit, but even
Makes
he
sense.
is learning so much from playing some of these games. And, like, one of the biggest arguments I hear, especially, like, again from my wife, is that you should be outside playing with your friends. Why? Like, I get the exercise. Okay, every kid needs exercise, and I agree
Hmm.
with that. But what's the difference? Especially, like, in our situation, me and, like, we had this conversation the other day about, like, what's the difference between me taking my kid and going out and throwing a ball with him, or me sitting down and spending a couple hours playing a game with my kid. I'm still spending time with my kid. We're still doing something together. We're
Hmm.
still enjoying something that we enjoy together. Or, like, for instance, with us, like, we can't just go hang out on the weekend and go
Exactly.
golfing together, or go out to the bar together, or go out and play Magic together or anything. But we can sit down, get on Discord,
Yep.
and play a video game together and hang out and have fun with our friends who don't live next door to us.
Yeah.
Like,
That is so true too. Now,
it's huge.
Now I can see the issue if we did live next door and instead of going out and playing a round of golf or going to the bar, we played a what's that series they like running around these days? Bar Simulator. Or
Power Wash Simulator. Instead of going and washing my car, I'm just gonna simulate it. Power Wash.
I know, right? So
Lawnmower Simulator. I'll get to the lawn later. I'm playing Lawnmower Simulator.
Why will you spend hours mowing the lawn in a video game but not real life? Because this one I don't have to exert my own energy.
And because listen, can you imagine when I do mow that lawn, how good it's gonna look? Because I'm so practiced and I know all the techniques on how to make it look so good.
And then you get out there and it's all wavy.
Yeah, it's just like lines. It's nothing special. It's just lines. But
no, there's a big change in culture that people who don't play video games are starting to understand it. Even as we get older, there's still adults from our generation that don't understand the benefits of playing video games. But at the same time, I also, now granted, I don't have kids, but I do understand that kids going outside and actually making physical connections with people is also important. That's why I also like schools. But
right.
let them play their video games. Now, on the other side,
my kids spend like 8 hours a day at school interacting with other kids, playing with other kids, doing things. If they want to come home and play some video games,
yeah, it's a good way to.
I'm not against it.
Now, on the flip side, there's another form of media. You're not big into TTRPGs, but I am, and so I can speak.
Talking like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
Dungeon and Dragons, another tabletop kind of
Warhammer, things like that. Yeah. Okay.
So growing up, I didn't really get into D&D or really know much about it until my first command when I was in the Navy. I was going through my sea school and all that good stuff. So I started playing D&D in the early 2000s. The difference from then to now, not from 1980, but from 2003 to now, is massively different on how those are seen. It used to be, oh, you play this, you're a huge nerd, don't really want to talk to you, you're a geek, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if that's changed that much.
Nowadays, I can go and find in less than a couple of minutes 5 different creators or message boards or anything about tabletop games, because
it's not hard to find podcasts about people who talk about nerdy things.
I know, right?
They're out there. I mean, they're out there.
They are. I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably found one.
Yeah, pretty good chance.
But it's changed so much from 2000 to now. Yeah, they still call us geeks and stuff, but my coworkers know me and another one of the guys. We play D&D and stuff like that, and they're cool with it. They don't joke about it. They'll ask questions when we're talking, and then they might make a comment like "nerd" jokingly.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing though. If you're in school, you're a mega nerd. Like you're the kid who sits in the corner of the hallway if you play D&D.
That was us when we were kids.
But no, not me. If you are like a D&D player or a Magic player or something like that, and you're an adult, that's totally different. The stigma is way different when you're older. I don't know. Like,
I know kids who play. Now, granted, certain games for tabletop RPGs should be left to the more mature adult audience, like World of Darkness, because that is a very dark system. But there's kids out there that, on average, it's usually teenagers, and they'll play D&D and stuff, and it's really cool seeing them play it. And yeah, you still got your jocks, you still got your band geeks, you still got your general nerds. But at the same time, it's more accepted now than it was back in the early 2000s.
Right. For sure.
And it's just amazing seeing and I was talking to a friend of mine. The reason why I thought about this topic and brought it up to Archon to see if he wanted to talk about it was because we were sitting there talking, like, this stuff has changed a lot throughout the years. I remember I would be hesitant to tell anybody I played D&D. Now I can go up to a group of people and yeah, they'll ask me what I like to do. And I'll say off my more expected stuff of taking my truck off-roading, hiking with my dog, stuff like that. But then I'll also say I also play D&D. And they're like, oh, that's cool. There are people out there that don't know what D&D is.
Plus, there's a lot of places you can go. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's several stores here in my town, and my town's not that big, that I can go. And if so, there's someone in there. I know 9 out of 10, I can probably chat with them about anything that I want because they're also a nerd
Mm-hmm.
and they're also my type of people. And I don't know, it's cool. Like, I mean, I have a buddy who I play Magic with all the time that, like, well, recently we've played a lot more, but he's like a 5-star chef and he plays Magic the Gathering. I mean, like, ain't no shame in our game, man.
I see that a little bit because if I remember correctly, Widget's son is also trying to be a chef and he plays all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of people don't understand. It's a good way. And I wish I could have explained it to my family growing up, that playing video games or tabletop RPGs is a good way to escape reality of a situation that you might be in. It's also a great way to, and I love what Mossy, was it Mossy or was it somebody else?
It was Mossy.
That said, it's like, no, it wasn't Mossy. I forgot who it was. We always talk about Mossy though, so that's the first person I go to.
I'm pretty sure if you're thinking what I'm thinking, if you're thinking that what was said in Discord, I'm pretty sure it was Mossy.
I thought it was, but I could have sworn there was one other person when we talked about why do you game.
Yeah, there's a few people, but that one, the quote you were coming to,
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure we talked about it in that episode. It was from Mossy.
We did. It's pretty much you're living this story instead of just reading the story. And if I could have explained that to my parents growing up, I don't know if they would have gotten it, but it would have probably been a lot less negative about it.
Well, and one thing I've noticed is that people who play D&D, especially people who are like DMs and things like that, are some of the most creative, imaginative people that you're ever going to meet. Like, to be able to, like, you're not just like living and playing a story, you're creating a story. You're basically a writer at that point, because you are writing the story and you are making the game that everyone is playing.
Yeah, being a DM,
it's not easy.
It's not. Being a DM in D&D or any kind of tabletop game requires you to be creative. A lot of times you can take your own story, and the reason why you got to be really creative is you just got to be able to think on your feet, because you might have this set story you want people to go. You're here. The party's over here. They're going to keep going that way. So adapt your game to follow them, and you can get them back on track. But
you have to. I mean, you may have a direction you want your story to go, but the people who are playing are gonna. Gosh, what's the quote from the book from Stormlight Archives that he just said? Journey before end, because you may have an ending in mind. You know how the story's going to end, but it's all about the journey and how you get there. And that's going to be changing throughout the entire game. So you have to, as the DM, adapt and change the story to get them where they're going, because they're not, yeah, like you said, they don't always go the way you want them to
Mm-hmm.
go. You may want them to go down door A, but they're like, you know what? There's something shiny behind door C. Well, let's go see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And by the way, it was Tank that said that statement. I have to give credit where the proper credit. It was Tank.
okay.
uh, but being a parent now and understanding all of this, because you are a parent and you understand things, how all the studies and stuff have come back. You have no issue with your kids playing video games. You've said that multiple times.
Mm.
If I was if I was an adult, I would support my kids' hobbies. If it's video games, more power to them. Because I would rather them take out any violent thoughts they have or any unsavory thoughts they have out on a video game where I know it's controlled chaos versus bullying people at school and stuff like that. Parents back when we were growing up didn't understand that that was a good release for people. And that's could have helped a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I don't know, like, I get that there's like genres,
Mm-hmm.
and different people fall in different genres. Even your jocks and your, super popular kids, they're going to be like your Call of Duty kids. They're the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are going to play your Call of Duties and your Maddens, and they're going to be trash talking. And I'll be honest, like, you can't talk about the evolution of gaming and how society sees it and the culture of gaming without mentioning the fact that gaming nowadays has become very toxic,
It
especially in
is.
online forums. If you're playing a game where there's any form of competition at all in the game and you can actually physically talk to people, it's nonstop trash talk. It is like nonstop. Like, you got your Uber gamers who are there just to make sure you don't have fun by making your life miserable. It's super toxic now, where back in the day it used to be like, everybody came together to have fun with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, I'm better than you and I'm going to make sure you know it, and it's horrible.
So
But
it's something I've learned about the toxicity of video games is those kind of games that has caused such a change in culture in general that people are more likely to say what they want in those games for a lack of fear of consequences.
right. Like, back in the day, if we sat down and played a game of Madden on our Sega and you said the things to me they say online, you'd get punched in your mouth because you're sitting right next to me. But you can't
And our
now, it doesn't
parents,
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could have a little 6-year-old telling me, right where I can stick it, and it doesn't matter because they're on the internet. And
Mhm.
so
It
the
does
culture has
breed.
gotten a very rotten in games lately.
It
And
has. Now there are a lot of games out there where just like you have Call of Duty, all your competitive Call of Duties and stuff like that. Elite Dangerous has its gankers and stuff like that, but there's also communities around playing together and having fun.
right.
Now, the thing about gankers is in Elite Dangerous, there are some that are just doing it to be assholes, but there are others who actually role play it. So they're like, I'm coming for your cargo. Drop this and I'll let you go. And if you choose to fight back, the consequences are your own. So there are those people out there who actually want to make it fun and challenging, but there are also dicks.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about this, like, with Dune, how toxic the end game of that game
Mm-hmm.
is. But I actually found today that there's a server out there that you can play on where the people who are running this whole thing, basically they rented out not just a server, but the whole world that all the servers are on. And then you pay like a monthly fee basically to play on their servers with them. And it's completely PvE just so that people can have fun.
Yeah, because it's awesome to sit there and have a society where you're running around and trading resources and
Right.
helping
And I think
each
that would be
other.
fun. Like I would have a blast in Dune
I just don't
playing
want to pay
something like that.
$8 a month.
You don't?
Dude, I got so many bills right now.
Well, I get it, but I'm saying like if you play a game like World of Warcraft or even Star Wars Galaxies, you're gonna pay or Star Wars Galaxies, Star Wars: The Old Republic. You're gonna pay like $15 a month to play those games.
Mm-hmm.
I would have more fun in Dune on a server like that and pay half as much. So like I don't know, it'd be worth it to me. And the
Yeah.
only reason they charge is because in order to rent every single world or every single server out for a whole world, it costs them like $359 a month. So I get it. Like I'm sure that they have more than 359 people on that server, so they could make it like $1 a month. But
Yeah, I
they're
see
doing
them
this.
doing it, but
Yeah,
they're
they're doing this for a
also,
reason.
based on what you've said about that, they've made some changes to the server and stuff like that.
Yeah, they coded that server specifically to have no PvP at all. It's just PvE for those who just don't want to deal with that nonsense, but they want to enjoy the whole game and enjoy the experience. And I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, it's interesting to see, and another reason why I thought about this topic is lately I've been watching Grandpa Games.
Oh yeah, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's an old man who was in the military who actually plays shooters, and he's
Oh
really good
yeah.
at it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, he trash talks, but he explains what you did wrong if you ask him, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because another group I play a lot of games and stuff with, they're all either military or retired military
Mm-hmm.
at this point, and like every now and then I'll be in that Discord and I'll be talking to them and stuff, and we'll be playing like PoE or something, and then a group of them will jump on Battlefield, and I'll listen to them talking to each other as they're playing Battlefield, and they're like giving each other like military directions and like you know come Sector 4 Bravo team. It's like these guys are like so organized and I was like, I feel bad for whoever they're playing, like 'cause they're probably just wrecking house. It's great.
It's awesome seeing people play like that. But video games, for being in the military, video games was a good way to pass the time on your off time before you decide to go to sleep and unwind from a hellacious day. Uh, I don't know for certain for people who were in combat zones. I was on a ship where it was a tin can in the middle of the ocean, so that was the best way to relax. But
Right.
I've heard people say that those games help them get through some stuff.
Right.
And so culture has massively changed on how we view video
Right.
games these days versus how video games were viewed when we were growing up.
The only thing about the culture of video games that I wish hadn't changed as much is the development culture. I miss the way things used to be. I miss being able to go to the store and buy a complete game and own that game and it's mine forever. Um,
Mhm.
and nowadays it's a lot more greed based, which kind of sucks. It's like, oh, we're gonna sell you this game for $70, but you have to download it and you only own the rights to play the game. And if we ever decide we don't want you to play it anymore, we could just turn it off. And it's like, I
That's that is
don't like
true.
that end of the culture of
I
like,
don't like how publishers are rushing. Um, and
yeah,
yes, this is a
same,
direct shot at EA Games. I do not like how EA Games and other publishers like them rush the developers to make a game below their own standards
right?
just because they want to get it out on a certain time and release it and not release a good game because they're going to spend a ton of money in the advertisement, and if the game's not out when they say it's going to be out, then they're out that money.
Right. And now and like we went from like, getting good solid games to like, oh, I'm just going to make another one of this game every year and change two things and then charge you $70 for it. Or like in the case we talked about with Nintendo earlier, it's like, well, we really don't have anything to release right now, so we're just going to release a remake, a remaster of our game that came out 5 years ago, and we're going to charge you for it again. But you can play it on the new system now, and it's like,
see, that's also a part of culture that has changed. Video games are now advertised on TV a lot. Back in the day, seeing an advertisement on TV was unheard of.
Wild.
So when
Halo, you'd see one for a video game system, like I would see commercials for like Nintendo, but I would not see video game advertisements. That's very true.
That's where you would go to your local rental store, rent the video game you want to try, take it home and try it, and say, "Hey, Mom, can we buy this because I like it?" Versus now, it's like, "All right, cool. That looks cool. Hey, Mom, I want this game." The biggest difference in that aspect is I'm going to blame this because the very first video advertisement or TV advertisement I remember seeing was Halo 3 on the Super Bowl.
That's the first one you remember?
That's the first one I remember. It's because that one was huge. It was the next video, and it was a very awesome thing.
I remember seeing that commercial. I'm trying to think if I remember any other ones.
I don't remember any before that, really, because everything.
I know I've seen a lot of like Call of Duty ones, but those were all after the Halo one.
I think Halo was the first. I'm in front of a thing of knowledge.
Yeah, you have Google at your fingertips. I know for me, I always like what used to hype me up for video games back in the day is I used to have a subscription to Nintendo Power and then Electronic Gaming Monthly. So like I would see the games that were coming out in the magazines, and that's where I'd get hyped from the video games. It wasn't like, there was no commercials really.
Yeah, well, there were commercials because apparently the very first one was Atari and they showed Pong.
Was it for Atari and they just featured Pong in the commercial, or was it for Pong?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It was featured.
Yeah, that's what I said back in the day. I remember seeing like Nintendo commercials, and then you'd see like clips from like Zelda and Mario and things like that. But I don't remember like any specific video game commercials.
Yeah, it's a lot of them are stuff tied in with video games, consoles releasing. I think now don't quote us because I could be massively wrong on this, but I do think Halo 3 ad during the Super Bowl was the very first directly about a video game ad that I can remember. I think they might have had Madden ads though.
Yeah, see, it's not giving me what I want.
Yeah, John Madden's football was the first actual TV ad for EA Sports. So there were some out there, but the one I remember was Halo 3.
I do remember that actually. I remember a commercial for I believe it was GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. I remember it was like the James Bond movie, and then it like morphed into like the 64 graphics version of it, and then walking through the hallways and stuff and shooting. I remember that commercial for GoldenEye. So that is one that I do remember now that somebody says something.
But they weren't as prominent as they are now.
Right. Now it's like you see them all the time.
Mm-hmm. I see them more when I'm streaming than I do on TV because I don't watch a lot of modern TV. I watch more streaming.
Most people don't. Yeah, that's another huge change in culture is that most people don't even have TV anymore. They just have like 15 different streaming services.
But yeah, gaming culture has changed a lot because you can't get demos anymore.
Right?
I remember playing demos because it was a taste on, do you like this game? No, I don't like the demo. All
Yeah,
right, I'm
like
not going to get the game.
the PlayStation demo discs. I remember
Mm-hmm.
those. I
I
remember
miss
they were on
those.
PS2 too.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not true. There are still demos.
I don't really see them that often.
Yeah, if you go on PlayStation Network, you can play demos of games on PlayStation Network. There's
Yeah, but
several,
it's
especially like newer games that are coming out. You can play demos of them. Like you could download the demo and play it for like they give you like 3 hours or something like that. That you're allowed to be logged into it and playing it.
yeah, but I miss the dedicated demos you could go out and get sent in a magazine.
Yeah, yeah, that dude. I do remember Electronics Gaming Monthly. We every now and then I'd get a little demo CD and there'd be
Yeah,
games on it to try.
there were all. Let's here's that one. Nintendo Power came out with demos. For the what system was it? The GameCube. Their little demo disc. I think they had one. I know PlayStation had one almost all the
PlayStation
time.
had tons. Yeah, that's where I first played Cool Borders 3, man. Oh, Cool Borders. I wrecked that demo until I finally convinced my mom to let me get the whole game.
But that's something that's changed. It's you don't even see the gaming magazines anymore.
Yeah,
Gamer,
they like Game Informer and all those like are all digital now. Like you
they're
don't
all
get a physical
digital
copy
if they
anymore.
still make them. I know.
You can still have a digital subscription. They just don't make the physical copies of it anymore.
Yeah, I'm talking about like Nintendo Power and all them. If you
Yeah,
can
that
still,
one's not
because
around
that's
anymore.
not being able to call up the Nintendo help desk to get help on video games, and the
Yep.
people on the other line actually knowing what you're talking about.
You still have that. It's called YouTube now.
Yeah, it's YouTube.
You go to YouTube, you type in how do I get past this part, and then it shows you a video of how to do it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get talked through it anymore. It's just a video now.
Never thought of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff like that that's no longer in video games or the culture.
Yeah, the biggest thing, like when like I said, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and the biggest thing I miss of the way the culture has changed is back in the day when I was a kid. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Some days I said, "Wish I was a kid again." Got to quote again, got to quote that song. But you would get a game, you would sit down and you'd play that game, and you'd play it for a year or two until an expansion came out or something like that came out. But you'd sit there and you'd play those games and you'd be happy with them.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, especially with this other friend group, and I was making fun of them for it, is like they change games like they change their socks. Like,
Oh yeah.
you can't stick with the game for more than a week, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm bored of this one. Let's go play another game." Oh, they haven't released new content for this yet. Let's go play another game. The game came out 2 weeks ago. What do you mean they haven't released new content? Of course they haven't released new content yet. The game just came out. Like,
that is a big change that's happened in video games. Is I can stick with a game I have like 5 games I will cycle through if I get bored, but I still play them on a regular.
same.
Your friend group?
Dude, they're playing new, I will sample a lot of games. Like I'll play a lot of games because I like to talk about them here on the show, and I like to tell people, "Hey, I've tried this game. It was kind of cool. You should check it out." Or, this game probably should avoid it. Things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Especially the big titles like Dune and things like that. So, like I do that as well, but I don't do it as a ADD thing as much as some people do. I do it more as a like I do it for a purpose. But like I will sit there and play a game until I beat it. Like some of these people are like, "Oh well, I'm like 2/3 of the way through the game, but I'm bored and I'm going to switch to another game now." I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to switch to another game now, and it's partially because instead of good games coming out, 1 or 2 or 3 a year, it's like every month you got like 18 games coming out. So you
Mm-hmm.
got so much to choose from that you're just like, oh, well, I'm bored, so I'm going to play this now, and I'm going to play this now, and then, oh, next week this comes out, and oh, this game comes out in 2 weeks, so I'm just going to play this game until then. It's like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous on how much games are coming out on a regular basis. But then again, I don't know how many games are coming out every month or two in the Super Nintendo era because I never heard about games in development because I
well,
didn't
yeah,
have access to the magazines that talked
I
about
had Nintendo Power, but like, it wasn't that much. It wasn't near as much because back then there was like 3 or 4 developers,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't work on 20 games at a time because they didn't have the resources. Nowadays, it's like there's like 500 billion developers. Like everybody's a developer now. And then there's all the indie titles, and then there's this, and there's that, and it's like
Sad,
getting games left and right.
sad part is I've seen better indie AAA titles than I have
So have I. You know why?
mainstream because they
Because
actually
they
care.
care. Yeah, they care.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
When a company like EA puts out a game, they're just like, okay, we're gonna make money. Let's just throw it out there. But when an indie developer, somebody like gosh, can't names the slipping me now, but the company who made Expedition 33,
Mm-hmm.
like you can tell that they really wanted to make a great game because they did. They made a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it's a very
That was their focus.
yeah, it's a very simple fact. They have to make a great game because they're investing a lot of resources and they don't have the powerhouse publisher backing them. I think publishers should keep their hands out of developers and let the developer make the game. The publisher just take a cut of the profits when they release it. They should stay out of the video game developing industry because I think that BioWare could go back into making a very good game again if EA wasn't up their asses. I think Bethesda does a fairly decent job making video games because they don't have a publisher they actually have to really rely on so much. Yeah, you got Microsoft.
I
Microsoft's
was
a
going
little
to
bit
say
more.
that was until they got bought out by Microsoft, and now
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, let's push out games because
Without
Microsoft
telling
wants
anybody.
us to. Because Microsoft wants us to, so let's push out games.
Yeah, or Activision pushing out games all the time.
Again, owned by Microsoft.
Now, yeah. But no, they were doing that before Microsoft acquired them. How many Call of Duties are there right now? How many Call of Duty Black Ops are there right now?
There's so many Call of Duty games out now that they have to they have like a rotating developer list of who gets to make it this year.
Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
There's 3 different developers that make Call of Duty games, and it's like, all right, whose turn is it this year?
EA Sports releasing a new game every single year. And all right, we've tried changing this in this really short amount of time. Have fun. Instead of coming back out and saying, oh, we're not releasing a game this year. We're just going to give you the updated rosters for the new season.
You know how much money they can make on the Madden series if they just, instead of spending all the time and resources to make a new Madden game every year, they just gave you a DLC upgraded roster for $20.
Problem with that,
all they would have to do is update the roster.
Problem with that is people can make their own draft classes in the game. That's the reason why they do that. But if they've really focused on making a good NFL game and actually took the time to develop it and just released new draft classes every year until the new game was released, I would be okay with that. But the fact they come out every single year and release a new game every single year, and it's pretty much the same game with a minor tweak here or there, it's boring. I don't play Madden that much anymore. In fact, I'm playing Madden 2008.
Yeah. But you need to buy this $70 game because we changed the way that you can spin now. It's more responsive now. So
hey,
$70.
My favorite thing was tackling people watching the ambulance come onto the field and knock the person over.
Dude.
But no, this is how much video games have changed. Publishers have become extremely greedy. Developers are being overtasked compared to back in the day when publishers had time to make a game. Yeah, you still had your time crunches because they still need to make money, but maybe it's just a change in the times and the actual process of developing a game. I don't know, because there's some 16, 32, 64-bit games that are better than the games that are out now.
Dude, and games are going to come out even faster now with AI and stuff, because they've already showed that AI can write a solid game and like pretty much develop most of the game by itself in like a week.
Yeah, and that bothers me. But that's for another episode. But yeah, so we are. Oh,
Yep. Yep.
See what happens when we get into a topic we really love.
Yeah. Passion, man. Passion. Could feel the passion.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like, share,
subscribe.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like,
Definitely.
subscribe, hit that bell to get notified when we release another episode. I am looking into possibly starting up some what's that YouTube Shorts?
Wow. That happened. That happened.
That happened. So look forward to those. I'll let you know when we start doing those. Hit us up on our Discord. We love talking to everybody. Discord's our place to be if you want to chat with us. What's our Discord?
Discord.gg/raw podcast.
If you want to talk to us about any kind of thing business related and you don't want to talk to us on Discord, you can hit us up on our email.
That one's what? Podcast Raw?
Yep.
See, we do this every week, and you'd think I know it. It's podcastraw@gmail.com.
And we have a Facebook.
Yep, that's all. We have all the socials, but honestly, we give them to you guys every week, but really the way to get a hold of us is Discord.
Yes.
I can't stress it enough. Go to our Discord.
And you don't even
just message us on Discord, because we are going to be there, and we're on there all the time, especially when we're gaming, and when we're not, it notifies our phones. So like,
and us giving you our Discord proves that it's not locked behind a paywall. So just jump in. It's free.
Right. Jump in, join the conversation. We have, hundreds of people in there talking every day, just enjoying nerdy things. You can see the sweet new live wallpaper I put on my desktop because I posted it because it was awesome. Like, we just share things. So get on there. Hang out with us. It's awesome.
I do like that Boba Fett truck though.
Boba Fett what?
The Boba Fett truck under nerdy pictures.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's our show for today. We went long because we really enjoyed the conversation we were having.
Yep.
So y'all stay nerdy and stay safe and have a great week.
We'll see you guys next week.